All right, we are doing number 14 on the test review thing. It says find the value of x and y. So we're solving for x and y if UV bisects TW. So let's write that down. Line segment UV bisects. Now that's very important. Don't just read that and blow that off. Okay, this tells you some important information. UV bisects TW. And it also says that UV is equal to 40. All right, let's take a, where's UV? UV is this one right here, isn't it? It bisects TW. So what does that mean? TW is being bisected, which means it's being split how? Right in half, right evenly, okay, into two equal parts. You agree? So what do you think is equal to what? Yep, 3x minus 2 is equal to what? 3y plus 1. But if I just write that down, if I write 3x minus 2 equals 3y plus 1, is there any way to solve for x? Not really, because you got two variables, don't you? So you can't just do that. It's not quite as easy as that. All right, so let's think a little bit. Let's do this. Look at this line segment right here. It's just got all y's, doesn't it? Yeah. So let's see. Now, does that mean that this is being bisected? UV? No. All right, just TW is being bisected. So this and this are equal to each other. That does not mean that UZ and ZV are equal to each other. Does that make sense? Okay, but they do tell you something else. What do they tell you? UV is 40, so watch. Tell you what, let's do this in a different color just so it stands out a little bit from everything. So watch, this whole thing from there to there is how much?
40.
It's 40. So now tell me something about these two segments. This segment and this segment. Do we set them equal to each other? No, that's right. You add them up and set them equal to 40. That's right. Everybody see that? A common mistake would be to take this and set it equal to this. A lot of people look at it and say, well, it sure looks like it. And actually, if you look at the problem on number 14, it really does look like Z is in the middle. Now, I drew it a little bit different. It doesn't look quite like it is. But if you look at 14, it looks like it is. But does that mean it is just because it looks like it? No, you got to go by the information. So what do we got? We got 3y minus 1 equals, I'm sorry, I almost did it myself. Plus what? 2y plus 6, now I can say it, equals 40. Does that make sense? All right. Make sure you draw that stuff in there. When they give you all, now they tell you that 3y minus 1, blah, 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 and all that stuff. But when they tell you that this thing is being bisected, put a little tick mark right here and a little tick mark right here, just so that you can look and see and you can visualize, oh yeah, that segment's equal to this one. You can remember that. Do this. You don't have to put that little fancy brace there, but whatever it takes to show that this whole thing is 40, put that on your picture. All right? That's what I would suggest to you. And then you take a look and you say, okay, what's true about these two things? Well, we don't know they're equal to each other. Even though it may look like they are, we can't say they are. But we do know the whole thing equals 40, so this plus this equals 40. Make sense? Okay. Let's just do the math real quick.
This is to find the value.
This is to find y. Right, we're going to find y, and then guess what? Then we can find x, because now I can put that y into this. You see it? Once I find y, I can put that y right here, and then that'll help me solve for x. So I'm going to find y first, then I'm going to find x. Make sense? Let's add like terms. 3y plus 2y is 5y. Let's add the other like terms. Negative 1 plus 6 is positive 5. Oops. Equals 40. Subtract 5 from both sides. You can do that in your head. What's that? 35. Divide by 5. Do that in your head. What is it? It's 7. So y is 7. We're halfway there. What else do we have to solve for? We have to solve for x as well, don't we? All right, so let's solve for x. Before we do that, let's figure out what this is. What did we just say y was? 7. So let's figure out what this line segment is right here. So let's do that. 3 times what? 7 plus 1. What's that? It's 22 altogether, isn't it? Okay. 21 plus 1. So this is 22. Guess what? What's TZ? Yeah, it's 3x minus 2, but it's also equal to what? To 22, isn't it? So guess what we're going to do? We're going to take that 3x minus 2, tell me, equals 22. Does that make sense? How'd you know that? You knew it because it was bisected. That means this segment and this segment are equal to each other. We found this segment, which is 22, so that means this equals 22. And now we can solve for x. All right? So add 2 to both sides, you get 24. Divide both sides by 3, you get 8. And there's your answer. We good with that? All right. You will have something that looks pretty close to that. It's not exactly like that. In fact, I think the one on the test, if I remember right, I made the test up Friday, but I think it's a little easier than this, but it's the same basic idea. Something, it just depends, right? A lot of the stuff that we use, though, yeah, you'll use, okay? Understand, if the segments are equal, you set them equal to each other, okay? If they add up to some number, then add them up and set them equal to that number, okay? So the basic idea, the principles behind this problem will be covered on the test. It's not going to be this exact problem, though. Everybody got it? All right, let's move on. We can skip 15. I'm not going to give you one of those. Let's go to 16 and 17. Let's pause this, and I'll draw the picture out for you on 16 and 17. Okay, here's our picture, and let's look at 16. So let's not put 17 there just yet. Let's just do 16. So 16 says, look at it, find the value of x if angle FEG is 82 degrees. Let's write that down. Angle FEG equals 82 degrees. And angle FEC is 5x plus 11. And we're solving for x, correct? Now, do we just look at this and automatically set them equal to each other? No. All right, you got to see what the relationship is. I mean, who knows? Maybe we do. Do you getting all this? Somebody tap me, please. Okay. You good? All right. So we don't automatically do that. We come and look at the picture and we set this thing up. Let's go different color just so it stands out a little bit. FEG is 82. Let's find it. Here's angle FEG. That's this whole big angle right there, right? That whole thing is how much? 82 degrees. And they also tell you FEC. But let's read on a little bit. Do you see before the problem number 16, it gives you some instructions. It's in bold. It says that EA, where's EA? From here to here, and EB, ray EA and ray EB, are opposite rays. Basically, the only thing that they are telling you right there is that forms a straight line. That's really not that big of a deal. I mean, you can just look at it and see that it forms a straight line, but they tell you it does. It's the next part. The next part's very, very important. Okay, the next thing they say is this. They say that ray EC does what? What's the key word here? Bisects. That's right. It bisects angle FEG. That is very, very important. So let's take a look at it and decide what that means. EC is that one right there. It bisects angle FEG, which means if this FEG is 82 and this thing bisects it, that's right, that's got to be 41. What's this one got to be? It's going to be 41 as well. Make sense? That's why it helps drawing the stuff out on your picture, right? You draw the stuff out on your picture, then you take a look at what it says, and then you mark it. All right? Anything that I know, I'm going to mark like this. Absolutely, good. 5x plus 11 is FEC, right? Angle FEC is this one right here. So they're telling you that's also equal to 5x plus 11. Well, we know the actual angle degree, don't we? It's 41. Well, they're not asking to solve for the actual angle. What are they asking for? To solve for what? To solve for x, that's right. So what do we do with that 5x plus 11? We don't plug and chug yet. Okay, we haven't set up our formula. Say it, Jake. Equals 41. 5x plus 11 equals 41. All right. Now you just work it out. Here we go. Minus 11. So 5x equals what? 30. Divide by 5, x is 6. And there you go. You've got number 16. See how easy that is? You got to do all that prep work first, don't you? All right. You got to figure out what angles they're talking about. First of all, this was very, very important. Don't just blow that thing off. Don't just look at it and say, oh, whatever. No, it's in bold. All right. If it's in bold, that means it's important. That means they want you to know something. So you look at it and you say EC. Where's EC? From here to here, it bisects. What does it mean to bisect? It means it splits the angle in half. That's right. Okay, so the whole thing is 82, so that's got to be 41. That's got to be 41. Then look at what else they tell you. They tell you this. You say, okay, if that angle is 5x plus 11, it's got to also equal 41. So what do? Set them equal to each other. Make sense? All right. Let's get rid of all this. We'll keep the picture because number 17 is the same picture. Get rid of all that stuff. Okay. And let's do 17. Oops. Let me try to get that black color here. There we go. All right, 17. It says if angle AED, so let's write that down, angle AED equals 16y plus 10. It says find the value of y such that, or so that, ED is going to be perpendicular, right? That's that symbol for perpendicular, AB. All right. Now, the fact that FEG was 82 on number 16, does that mean it follows through with number 17? No. Okay, it's a different problem, okay? So the angles are different values and all that kind of stuff. All right, but this still is true, right? Because that's above number 16 and 17, that EC still bisects. Whether we use it or not, I don't know, but all that stuff is still true. But let's take a look. First of all, it says ED is going to be perpendicular to AB. Let's do that first. Here's ED, up and down, here's AB. They're perpendicular, so let's talk angles. What do you think? 90-degree angle, that's right. It's a 90-degree angle, this angle right here. Angle AED's got to be a right angle, doesn't it? Okay, because it's perpendicular. So that's the first thing that I came up with, knowing that these were perpendicular. Now look, it also says what? Angle AED is, they tell you something else about angle AED. What do they tell you? That's right. So AED is 16y plus 10. So that has to equal what? 90 degrees, because that's that angle right there, isn't it? That angle's a right angle because it's perpendicular, so it's got to equal 90 degrees. So you set that equal to 90. Does it make sense? That's not too hard, is it? You just have to know what these words mean, right? You got to know that perpendicular means it's a right angle, so you put that little box in there to remind you that that's a right angle. Then you look at see what they tell you. They tell you that AED, this angle right here, is 16y plus 10. You're like, well, wait a minute. I know it's a right angle. I know it's 16y plus 10. Guess what I can do? I can set them equal to each other and solve for y. So let's do this real quick. 16y. Subtract 10 from both sides and you get 80. Divide by 16. That comes out even to 5. And there it is. You got number 17. What do you think? It's good stuff, isn't it? Yeah, it's not too hard. All right, let's pause that and we'll move on.